So before, I didn't think about this when I was making the notes on Q2, but before we do the actual problems in Q2, I need to tell you just a few things. And I could make this really, really long, or I can just kind of show you what's going on. If I asked you to graph y equals the absolute value of x, you might have graphed a few of these in Algebra 1. Okay? Absolute value of x is V-shaped, and I could make a chart for you to show you why and what, but basically, if it's just the absolute value of x with no negatives, no numbers on the inside, no numbers on the outside, then we're going to start at 0, 0, and we're going to go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, in the same sides, and it's going to be V-shaped. That's what the absolute value of x looks like, and we're going to be using that information in just a little bit. If I asked you to graph x squared, it's called a parabola. You don't need to know that right now, but eventually in other units you will. If I just asked you to graph x squared with no negatives, no numbers, just x squared, that's the parent graph, and the parent graph starts at 0, 0, and it goes up 1 and over 1, and then up 1 and 3, and then up 1 and 9, and it is U-shaped, okay? There's a smooth curve, and it goes up, and it goes up exponentially. All right, again, don't necessarily need to graph all of this stuff, but I wanted to show you the difference between an absolute value graph, and both of these are parent graphs. These are what they look like before anything is done to them. Okay, so let's go on. So on these, both of these are absolute value graphs that have been translated or transformed. They have been moved. Okay? So if our original absolute value graph was supposed to look like the red, and it always starts at 0, 0, what do we do to get to the new, it's called a vertex, what do we do to get there? We went to the left 9, right? Everything else is exactly the same, but we shifted it 9 to the left. So what would the new equation look like? And remember, if it's left or right, it's with the parent, it's inside the house. It's inside the parent's house. So if you're with the parent, you're going to do opposite of what it looks like you're doing. So we have the absolute value, we put x there, and if it's left 9, then we're going to add 9, and that's going to be it. Same thing with this one. If this is our original, what happened? We shifted this way. We went to the right 8. So if we went to the right 8, what would our new equation look like? And in your box, you would put absolute value of x, and because 8 is right, R-I-G-H-T, going to the right, then it's inside, so it's with the parent. We're going to do opposite. Usually you would think of positive for the right, so we're going to do negative. So the absolute value of x minus 8. So now I'm not going to graph or draw the graphs of absolute value of x anymore, but let's just know that it would always start at 0, 0. So what would we do to be able to get to this? Well, we would go to the left 1 and we go up 2, right? So our equation, we'd have to have the absolute value symbols. X would go inside. So how would I do left 1? I would go plus 1 because it goes opposite. But up and down is always the number that it says. So up 2 is plus 2. Here is 0, 0. How do we get there? We go here, and then we go here. So what is this? What is this? To the right, 8, and down 3. So our equation, the right 8 is a minus 8 on the inside, the down 3 is a negative 3 on the outside. This just goes right 4. So it's going to be on the inside, but it's going to be a minus. To get here, we are going to go left 3 and down 8. Left 3 would be x plus 3. Down 8 would be minus 8. Okay, now that we're at the parabolas, and it's the exact same information, we still usually would start at 0, 0, and this would be the normal, x squared. It really doesn't look like that. I just kind of slopped it up there, but just look from the vertex. So it was at 0, 0. What did we do? We went up 2. Now, on x squares, let me just tell you that that's your answer, and I'll make better sense of that after this next one. So if we were at 0, 0, what did we shift? We shifted 9 right. Now, if x squared, well, you're like, well, where's the house? Where's the, being with the parent? Well, the x squared is the parent. So whenever I'm shifting left and right with an x squared, we're going to put parentheses. And now we have an inside. Don't forget the x. And if we're shifting 9 to the right, it's going to be minus 9. So that's the difference between up and down. You're not going to have parentheses, and it's just going to be plus 2 or minus 2 or whatever. And shifting left and right, you must put the parentheses, you must put the 2 on the outside, and then don't forget about the opposite. So 0, 0, we're going to go this way, and then we're going to go this way. So we went left 1 and up 8. So the left 1 will be x plus 1. The up 8 would be plus 8 on the outside. On this one, we just went down 3. So we're not going to have parentheses, and it's just going to be minus 3. How do we get to here? We're going to go right 5 and down 8. So the right 5 would be a minus 5. The down 8 would be minus 8. And to get to here, from here, we would go left 6 and down 1. So we're going to have an inside. Left 6 would be plus 6. Down 1 would be minus 1. So on the next part, it's basically giving you the information that I was writing down without the graph. So we have an absolute value parent, absolute value of x, and we want to go one down. What would the equation look like? Since it's down, we're not going to have an inside, and we're going to have a minus 1. The parent graph is just x. We're going to move right 10. Now I'm going to do this the absolute most mathematical way, but then because it's just x and not x squared, something's going to happen. So because it's to the right, legally, we would put parentheses, and to the right 10 would be a minus 10. But because there's not an x squared, because there's not an absolute value or anything else, because we're not multiplying by any number, in this case, the parentheses weren't necessary, and usually that doesn't happen. But on this one, it wasn't necessary, so it's just x minus 10. 3 to the right, 7 up. So the 7 up would be plus 7. 3 to the right would be inside, so x minus 3. All right, let's see what this one's doing. Find g of x, where g of x is the translation of 1 down from this. So here is our original equation, and I want to go 1 down. Well, which part, because I see 3 different numbers here, which part is going to be changed because of going 1 down? This part's going to be changed. And how do we go 1 down? We're going to subtract 1. So the negative 3 is going to stay. The x plus 7 squared is going to stay. But what's 10 minus 1? 9. So that's why it's that one. Same on this one. We're going to go plus 1 or up 1. So plus 1 right there. So the negative 8x squared does not change. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So we don't have that number. So there we go. All right. We are going to go 3 to the right. And if y'all can't see that, I'm rewriting this because I don't want to mess with those bubbles right there. So that's our original, the negative 3x minus 10. How would we go 3 to the right? To the right or to the left means I need to have a house. And we put a house where the x is. Everything else is going to stay the same for now. So on this one, because I'm going to go 3 to the right, it's going to be x minus 3. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, that's not there. Well, I know I did it right. How am I going to figure out which one of these it is? We're going to get rid of the parentheses because there aren't any parentheses here. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And then bring the negative 10 down. So negative 3x minus 1, because 9 minus 10 is negative 1. So it's that one. Three to the left, 1 up. Left, up. So the negative 10 isn't going to change. Well, wait. Sorry. My bad. So what I'm going to do, what's 3 to the left? That's on the inside. Usually you'd think minus 3 because left. So we're going to do plus 3 right here. Up 1. So plus 1 right here. So the negative 10 stays. The 6 is going to change to a 9. The square stays. And negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. Whenever this is just x, not x squared or the absolute value or something, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of work at the end. That's just, me telling you that. So 3 to the right, 11 up. Dadgummit, I did it again. Because I'm just used to kind of messing with it. So, let me see how I want to do this. I'll just do it this way. So, bring down the 5. I have to have a house. And I'm just bringing the plus 7 down. And now I'm going to worry about 3 to the right and 11 up. So, here's our x. 3 to the right would be minus 3. 11 up would be plus 11. See, there's no parentheses here. So, because it's just x, we're going to get rid of the parentheses. We're going to distribute that 5. 7 plus 11 is 18. And 18 minus 15 is 3. So, 5x plus 3. Alright, last one. Just 6 to the left. So that's going to be on the inside. So plus 6. X plus 2 squared plus 1. There you go.